meditation is a gift that I was given by Spirit, and it is a way for you to seek conscious resolution in spiritual matters. And what's beautiful about the Blue Room is you can use the Blue Room to engage not just the energies of those who are around you and who are living, but the energies of those who are in your line and are deceased. Now, why would you use the Blue Room? The Blue Room is a space where dialogue can take place. The rules of the Blue Room are, and first and foremost, I guess there's really only one rule, and that's that you don't control the dialogue. So you can bring an issue to the Blue Room. You can ask for the spirits and the spirit guides, ascended masters, guardians, archangels of those involved participate as well. But you have to release several things. You have to release any kind of attachment to the outcome of the meeting, meaning you may not know what the resolution of the Blue Moon or of the Blue Room actually is. The second thing is you have to release the need to know what is discussed in the Blue Room, meaning that you also release control over the conversation. Now, most people who need the Blue Room, meaning that they have been through something really challenging, in many cases it's been transpiring over years and decades, they haven't had any resolution, they seek resolution for the purposes of peace, and they don't even need to know what the resolution is. They're just asking that it unfold in alignment with the highest good of all beings for their peace and for the peace of everyone else who's involved. That's who the Blue Room is for. The Blue Room is not for you if you're trying to call someone specific in there to punish them or to get back at them or to speak your piece, but and to try to create your own outcome. That's not what the Blue Room is for. The most important thing for you to know, especially if you're new to magical work, and I try to be really mindful of this because there's constantly an inflow of people right into courses and programs who may not have a lot of experience, which is fine. I mean, of course, I'm glad that you're here because I hope that I can be a good teacher to you and share with you some of sort of the basics. And one of the basics is you cannot do spiritual work for anyone else because it's not your right. It's not your job to punish anyone else. It's not your job to exact revenge or retribution from anyone else. It's not your job even to correct or fix anyone else. And it bears saying because I think a lot of people still feel like, well, I can use energy or I can use magic to make him pay or make her pay. And I want to caution you that that's actually the farthest thing from the purpose of magic, the reason that magic and energy exist for us. That's the farthest thing. What we're supposed to use energy and magic for is to love, heal, bless, and expand. And so just be very careful that you don't use something like this for the purposes of bringing people together to speak your piece and your truth, because the reality is ultimately what happens in the Blue Room is that all truths are spoken, and that the resolution that arrives is the resolution that's right for the greater collective. And it's a powerful thing because ultimately that's what you want. You want resolution that serves the collective. And no matter how much you think you know what that is, I promise you that you don't, because you're still human. No matter how evolved spiritually you are, you're not going to know what the highest and best outcome of almost any situation is. And if you can release the need to know, you know what I mean? When I see people, even in social media, who are like, well, I'm right, and this is what's right, and this is what's true, and anybody who says anything different is, this or that or bad or wrong, and I just look and say, wow. I mean, each person has their truth, and so speak your truth, but you can't speak to the truth of everyone else. You just have to sort of honor your truth and then trust that the universe unfolds exactly as it should. So don't, as the saying goes, you do you, right? Like in the Blue Room, do you. If you need resolution on a matter, invite all relevant beings to attend. Ask that only those beings who have crossed into the light and who have done their healing work and completed the medicine of their path join you, and let the others know that if they have not done their healing work, if they have not crossed to the light, that unfortunately they're not welcome to join you in the Blue Room. Because again, you want a high vibration and you want a productive dialogue, and that requires vibrational beings who are in alignment and your willingness to get out of the way. Because if you think you know what the right outcome is, then you're not really stepping into the blue room without an agenda, if that makes sense. Okay, so close your eyes, roll your shoulders back, bring your attention to where you are right now, just being fully present, nowhere to be, nowhere to go. Trusting that everything you need right now is already unfolding. You don't have to go fix anything. You just have to be and allow. Be and allow, be and allow, be and allow. And I want you to imagine that there is the most beautiful blue room. The walls of this room are indigo. They're almost a violet. It's almost like if you look at the room from one direction, it's a beautiful dark blue, and if you look at the room from another direction, it's almost like a violet, almost like a glowing tanzanite of a space. I want you to see the walls are this beautiful indigo blue colors, floors are beautiful indigo blue, maybe there's stone floors or carpet floors, beautiful Persian rugs, but everything from the wood casing of the windowsill to the floors and the ceilings and the walls, anything that's in the room, objects, everything is this beautiful indigo. And I want you to imagine that in the center of this beautiful blue room is a long table, long, beautiful wooden table, and so many chairs. And don't even take the time to count them. Just notice there's chairs and a beautiful long table. But again, everything is dark. The wood is dark. The walls are dark. And it's because this is a room where your seeing eyes, your human vision is not required. This is a room where the only things to see are things that can be seen with your soul, known with your spirit. And as you enter this room, I want you to think about a challenge in your life, something ongoing that you feel personally challenged by, that you have tried to find resolution for and have not been able to. What is that for you? It might be personal, it might be professional, it might be soulful, it might be something around your spiritual path or evolution. What is it? What's been bothering you? And then I want you to consciously ask the question today. Ask for help and guidance and direction in this matter. And just say out loud, Spirit guides, ascended masters, higher self, I come to you today because I need resolution. I seek wisdom and information and insight. And I wish for resolution on this matter. And I wish for it not in my time, but in yours. And I do not need to know how resolution will come. I release any attachment to the process. I even release attachment to the outcome. I simply ask that resolution unfold. And that my heart be restored to a state of peace. And I ask that only beings who have risen into the light, who have done their soul's work in this lifetime, I ask that only those beings come into dialogue on this matter. And I release my need to know who will be there as well. Amen, aho, and so it is. And so it is. And so I want you to look around this beautiful room and bless this room. Bless the conversations and the dialogues that will take place here. Bless the many ways in which having the resolution you seek will bless you. And bless everyone who is around the table, because you have set the intention that the outcome will be in alignment with the collective good for all who are there. You can even do this for the planet, it's like as long as you release your need to know who's there, what happens, the outcome, your personal ego-based opinions and perspectives, as long as you release all of that, You can set an intention for resolution of any challenge, because it's not going to happen on your timeline anyway. You've already also released the timeline. You have said it doesn't matter when it happens. You're just seeking what, to be honest, is already happening, even if you didn't seek it. And isn't that true of the entire universe anyway? And so I want you to imagine turning around behind you and seeing a pair of beautiful doorways that lead into this indigo room. Because now that you have set the intention, released your attachment to the outcome, it is actually time for you to leave. And because there's always exchange and sacred work, there will be one spirit who will come to take over holding the container as you leave it, and that will be your higher self. And so as you part through these doors, I want you to imagine your higher self approaching you. And this is the higher, more expanded, more evolved version of you, who has a far deeper understanding of events in your life and has already seen the totality of your path and can be more partial, perhaps, or impartial, I should say, about the outcome of events as they unfold. And that's important because your higher self will not intervene as much as you would on the basis of ego or personal desire. And as we release the space to the higher self, we give thanks, again asking for the highest good to unfold in whatever time is deemed by Source and Spirit to be best, and in alignment with the highest good of all beings on the planet at this time and in the future. And together we say, Amen, Aho, and so it is. Now, what I have noticed with the blue room is that sometimes the guides will come back to you later and reveal certain things about the unfolding. And then most of the time they won't. And so please do really let go of your need to know what unfolded in the blue room during the meeting. They may not even tell you when it's happening, although some people have a deep sense that's pretty accurate about when things are unfolding. I think it's best to let go of your need to know even that. And it lets the process be pure and true. And isn't it beautiful that you can ask for conflicts to be mediated? And isn't it a great learning for you to know that you don't have to make that happen? And in fact, when you get too involved, you can actually really mess it up. So it's best to let the universe do its work. Aho. May this blue room meditation bless you, my sisters, now in all ways as you work with this sacred tool.